guarded by a unique challenge. The first fragment, the Crystalline Caverns. Elara journeyed to the Crystalline Caverns, a breathtaking underground world of glistening crystals and shimmering pools. Here, she faced the challenge of the Prism Guardian, a giant crystal golem that could only be appeased by solving a series of light-based puzzles. Elara used her knowledge of reflections and angles to navigate through the labyrinth of crystals and secure the first fragment. The second fragment, the Skyward Spire. Next, Elara ascended to the Skyward Spire, a towering structure that floated among the clouds. The spire was home to a fleet of mechanical birds that guarded the second fragment. To retrieve it, Elara had to engage in a delicate aerial ballet with the birds, using her skills to synchronize with their flight patterns and earn their trust. The third fragment, the Eternal Library. The final location was the Eternal Library, a vast repository of knowledge filled with ancient scrolls and enchanted books. The library was protected by a series of riddles and enchanted mechanisms. Elara spent hours deciphering ancient texts and solving intricate puzzles to find the last fragment hidden within a book of wisdom. With all three fragments in hand, Elara returned to the Grand Clock Tower. The final challenge awaited her. She had to reassemble the Heart of Time and restore its magic to its rightful place. The process was delicate, requiring precise alignment and careful placement of the fragments. As Elara worked, King Orion and the citizens of the Clockwork Kingdom gathered, hopeful and anxious. With one final turn of a key and a burst of golden light, the Heart of Time was restored. The clockwork mechanisms whirred back to life, and the kingdom's harmony was renewed. The Heart of Time glowed with a brilliant, steady light, and the kingdom was filled with joy and celebration. The mechanical marvels were once again in perfect balance, and the land flourished. Elara was celebrated as a hero, and the clockwork sage appeared to bless her with a special gift, a mechanical companion named Ticker. A tiny, clockwork creature that would always be by her side. King Orion thanked Elara for her bravery and wisdom, and the kingdom thrived under the renewed light of the Heart of Time. And so, the Clockwork Kingdom continued to spin its wondrous gears and mechanisms, a land of harmony and magic, forever guided by the brilliance of the Heart of Time and the courage of a young inventor. The Golden Feather and the Wise Owl. Once upon a time, in a peaceful village nestled in the heart of a vast and beautiful valley, there lived a young girl named Lyra. Lyra was known throughout the village for her kind heart and gentle spirit. She loved to wander through the meadows and forests that surrounded her home, always eager to discover new wonders of nature. One day, as Lyra was exploring a particularly dense part of the forest, she came across something extraordinary, a single golden feather, glimmering in the sunlight that filtered through the trees. It was unlike any feather she had ever seen, and she knew at once that it was magical. She picked it up carefully, feeling warmth and a strange sense of peace wash over her as she held it. Lyra decided to take the feather to her grandmother, who was the wisest person in the village. Her grandmother had told her many stories of the magical creatures that lived in the forest, and Lyra was certain that the golden feather must belong to one of them. When Lyra showed her grandmother the feather, the old woman's eyes widened in surprise. "This is the feather of Oriole, the golden owl," her grandmother explained. Oriole is a guardian of the forest, a creature of immense wisdom and power. It is said that whoever possesses one of Oriole's feathers can make a single wish, a wish that will surely come true. Lyra's heart raced with excitement. A wish? She could wish for anything she wanted. But as she thought about it, she realized that she didn't want to waste the wish on something selfish. She wanted to do something that would help others. She decided to visit the great oak tree where Oriole was said to reside. If she could speak to the golden owl, perhaps she could learn more about how best to use the wish. The journey to the great oak tree was not easy. The path was long and winding, and Lyra had to cross a wide river, climb steep hills, and navigate through thick underbrush. But Lyra was determined, and the golden feather seemed to guide her, always pointing her in the right direction. Finally, after what felt like hours, Lyra arrived at the great oak tree. The tree was enormous, with roots that twisted and turned through the earth like the veins of the forest itself. Its branches reached high into the sky, and at the very top, Lyra saw a flash of gold. "Who comes to visit the guardian of the forest?" A deep, resonant voice called out. A moment later, Oriole the golden owl swooped down from the branches, landing gracefully on one of the lower limbs. His golden feathers shone brilliantly in the dappled light, and his wise, amber eyes gazed at Lyra with curiosity. Lyra held out the golden feather. "I found this in the forest, and I was told it belongs to you, great Oriole." Oriole tilted his head. "Indeed, that is one of my feathers. You are a kind and honest soul to return it to me. In doing so, you have earned the right to make a wish. But I sense that you seek guidance before making your wish." Lyra nodded. "I don't want to waste the wish. I want to use it to help others, but I'm not sure how." The golden owl blinked slowly, considering her words. "Wishes are powerful things, and they can change the world in ways you might not expect. But you have already shown great wisdom by seeking advice. Tell me, child, what troubles your village?" Lyra thought for a moment. Her village was a happy place, but there was one thing that always seemed to cause the villagers distress. Every year, the river that flowed through the valley would flood during the spring rains, destroying crops and homes. No matter what they did, the villagers could never prevent the flooding. "Our village suffers from floods every year," Lyra said. "It causes so much pain and hardship. If there was a way to stop the floods, it would help everyone." Oriole nodded, understanding. "That is a noble wish, young one. If you wish to protect your village from the floods, the river can be tamed, and the waters controlled." Lyra's heart filled with hope. "Yes, that's what I wish for, to protect my village from the floods." Oriole spread his wings, and as he did, the golden feather in Lyra's hand began to glow even brighter. The light from the feather surrounded her, and she felt the magic of the wish taking hold. When the light faded, the feather was gone, and Oriole smiled kindly at her. "Your wish has been granted, Lyra," the owl said. "The river will no longer flood your village. Instead, it will bring prosperity, nourishing your crops and ensuring that your village thrives. Go now, and see the fruits of your wish." Lyra thanked Oriole and hurried back to her village, eager to see if the wish had come true. As she neared the river, she noticed that the water flowed calmly, even though the spring rains had already begun. The riverbanks were strong and secure, and the fields that had once been destroyed by floods were green and lush. The villagers were amazed at the change, and when they learned of Lyra's wish and her encounter with Oriole, they were filled with gratitude. Lyra's wish had not only saved their village but had also brought them closer together, as they realized the importance of caring for one another and their home. From that day forward, the village prospered, and Lyra was celebrated as a hero. But she never sought praise or reward, for she knew that the true magic lay in the kindness and selflessness that had guided her wish. And so, Lyra lived a long and happy life, always guided by the wisdom of the golden owl and the warmth of the golden feather. And they all lived happily ever after. I hope you enjoyed this fairy tale. Once upon a time, in a tranquil kingdom surrounded by emerald forests and rolling hills, there was a village named Willowbrook. Willowbrook was renowned for its serene beauty and the shimmering moonlit lake, a crystal-clear body of water that was said to glow softly under the light of the full moon. The villagers of Willowbrook lived in harmony, but there was one thing that remained a mystery: the legend of the moonlit lake. According to the legend, on rare moonlit nights, a hidden doorway beneath the lake's surface would reveal itself, leading to a realm of magic and wonder. It was said that this realm held a treasure that could grant a single wish to someone with a pure heart. In Willowbrook lived a young woman named Elara. Elara was known for her kindness and her love for the natural world. She often spent her days tending to her garden and exploring the woods. Despite the tranquility of her life, Elara carried a deep wish in her heart. She hoped to find a way to heal her village's ancient oak tree, which had begun to wither and lose its vitality. One evening, as the full moon rose high in the sky, casting a silvery light over the landscape, Elara decided to visit the moonlit lake. She had heard the stories from the elders and felt a strong sense of calling. With a lantern in hand and her heart filled with hope, she made her way to the lake.
What the dog
As she approached the water's edge, Elara noticed a soft, melodic tune coming from the lake.
What the dog doing?
It was as if the moonlight itself was singing a lullaby. She carefully stepped onto a wooden dock that extended into the lake and gazed into the shimmering waters. To her amazement, the surface of the lake began to ripple, and a hidden doorway appeared, framed by glistening water lilies. Elara took a deep breath and stepped through the doorway, finding herself in a magical realm filled with glowing flowers, sparkling streams, and luminescent creatures. In the heart of this enchanted realm stood a magnificent palace made of shimmering crystal. The palace was surrounded by a lush garden with flowers that sang softly in the moonlight. As Elara approached the palace, she was greeted by a wise old moon fairy who floated gracefully before her. "Welcome, Elara," the moon fairy said with a gentle smile. "You have come seeking the treasure that can grant a wish. But before you can claim it, you must prove your worthiness by completing 3 trials." Elara nodded, determined to fulfill her wish for the village's ancient oak tree. The moon fairy explained the trials. First trial, the trial of wisdom. Elara was led to a serene glade where a large, ancient book lay open on a pedestal. The book's pages were filled with riddles that tested one's wisdom. Elara read the first riddle aloud. "I speak without a mouth and hear without ears. I have nobody, but I come alive with wind. What am I?" Elara thought carefully and answered, "An echo." The book's pages turned, revealing the next trial. Second trial, the trial of courage. Elara was guided to a shadowy forest where she faced a series of illusions meant to test her bravery. Shadows took the form of her deepest fears. But Elara confronted them with a steady heart. She realized that the illusions were powerless against her determination and kindness. The illusions faded, and Elara passed the second trial. Third trial, the trial of compassion. For the final trial, Elara was led to a shimmering pond where she found a small, injured moon creature. The creature's light was dim, and it looked frail. Elara gently tended to the creature, soothing it with her kind words and healing it with her touch. The moon fairy appeared once more and, seeing Elara's compassion, nodded with approval. "You have completed all 3 trials," the moon fairy said. "You have proven your wisdom, courage, and compassion. The treasure you seek is yours." The moon fairy led Elara to a grand chamber within the palace where a glowing chest awaited her. Inside the chest was a radiant, crystal vial filled with a liquid that seemed to contain the light of 1,000 stars. The vial was labeled Essence of Renewal. Elara carefully took the vial and thanked the moon fairy. With the vial in hand, she returned to the moonlit lake and made her way back to Willowbrook. When Elara arrived at the village, she went straight to the ancient oak tree. She opened the vial and gently poured the essence of renewal over the tree's roots. As the liquid touched the soil, the tree began to shimmer and glow. Its branches, once withered, burst forth with new leaves and vibrant flowers. The village rejoiced at the sight of the revitalized oak tree. It became a symbol of hope and renewal for Willowbrook. Elara's selfless wish had brought new life to the village and its beloved tree. The tale of Elara and the moonlit lake became a cherished story in Willowbrook, a reminder of the magic that lies within a pure heart and the power of selfless wishes. And so, under the light of the moon and the stars, Willowbrook flourished, forever touched by the magic of the moonlit lake and the courageous heart of Elara. Once upon a time, in the heart of a lush, emerald forest, there was a village named Breezebrook. This village was blessed with gentle winds that carried the sweet scent of blooming flowers and the melodious songs of birds. The villagers believed that these winds were enchanted, for they seemed to whisper secrets and carry messages from far-off lands. Among the villagers was a young girl named Arya. Arya was known for her adventurous spirit and her deep love for the forest. She spent her days exploring the woods, listening to the whispers of the wind, and tending to the animals and plants. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon and the forest was bathed in twilight, a sudden and eerie silence fell over Breezebrook. The winds that usually brought comfort and joy had stopped completely. The village became quiet and still, and the vibrant colors of the forest seemed to fade. The village elder, a wise woman named Elowen, gathered the villagers and explained that the winds had always been their guide and protector. Without the winds, the village's magic and harmony would be at risk. She revealed that the winds were controlled by the spirit of the forest, a mystical entity that lived deep within the heart of the woods. Determined to restore the balance, Arya volunteered to find the spirit of the forest and ask why the winds had stopped. With a map she had drawn from her years of exploring, she set out on her quest. The map led her through thick foliage and ancient trees, guiding her deeper into the forest than she had ever ventured before. As Arya journeyed, she encountered 3 magical creatures who guarded different parts of the forest. The first was a wise old owl named Orion who lived in the great oak tree. Orion's eyes glowed with wisdom, and he perched silently as Arya approached. "Brave traveler," Orion hooted softly, "to reach the spirit of the forest, you must first pass the trial of wisdom. Answer my riddle, and I shall guide you further." Orion's riddle was, "I am not alive, yet I grow. I don't have lungs. But I need air. I don't have a mouth, but water kills me. What am I?" Arya thought carefully and replied, "A fire." Orion nodded and pointed with his wing towards a path lined with glowing fireflies that led deeper into the forest. Next, Arya reached the edge of a shimmering lake where a graceful swan named Leora floated. Leora was known for her elegance and her ability to control the waters of the lake. "To proceed, you must pass the trial of compassion," Leora said. "There is a young fawn trapped in the reeds. Help it, and I will aid you in your quest." Arya followed Leora's directions and gently freed the fawn from the reeds, soothing it with kind words. Leora extended her wings, and a bridge of shimmering water appeared, allowing Arya to cross the lake. Finally, Arya arrived at the edge of a dense thicket, where a clever fox named Felix awaited. Felix was known for his cunning and agility. "To reach the heart of the forest, you must complete the trial of courage," Felix said. "Face your deepest fear and you shall find the path." Arya took a deep breath and walked through the thicket, where shadows danced and eerie sounds echoed. Despite her fear, she pressed on, her resolve unwavering. As she emerged on the other side, Felix acknowledged her bravery and pointed towards a hidden entrance covered in vines. With each trial completed, Arya approached the heart of the forest, a mystical glade bathed in moonlight. At its center stood a majestic tree with silver leaves that shimmered like stars. The spirit of the forest, a radiant figure with flowing robes of emerald and gold, appeared before her. "Why have the winds stopped?" Arya asked respectfully. The spirit of the forest smiled kindly. "The winds have ceased because they were burdened by sadness. The harmony of the forest had been disrupted by a spell of discord. It is not until the heart of the forest is restored to balance that the winds can resume their gentle whispers." Arya listened carefully as the spirit explained that the spell could only be broken by a pure heart's wish. Arya took a deep breath and spoke from her heart, wishing for the forest's harmony to be restored and for the winds to return to Breezebrook. The spirit of the forest nodded, and with a wave of their hand, a wave of soothing energy spread through the forest. The silver leaves of the majestic tree shimmered brightly, and the gentle winds began to stir once more. The soothing breeze carried the scent of blooming flowers and the melodies of the forest back to Breezebrook. Arya returned to the village, where the winds had resumed their comforting presence. The villagers rejoiced as the vibrant colors of the forest returned and the harmony of their home was restored. They celebrated Arya's bravery and the renewal of their beloved winds. From that day on, Arya continued to explore the forest and listen to its whispers, and the spirit of the forest remained a guardian of the balance and harmony of the land. The village of Breezebrook thrived, and the whispering winds continued to bring joy and magic to all who lived there. Once upon a time, in the distant kingdom of Verdonia, there was a tale whispered among the villagers about a mystical creature, the Silver Phoenix. This magnificent bird, with feathers as bright as the moon and wings as wide as the sky, was said to possess the power of rebirth and immortality. Legend had it that whoever found one of its feathers would be granted a single wish, but only if the wish was for something pure of heart. In the village of Marin, there lived a humble young boy named Leo. He was known for his kindness, always helping his neighbors and caring for the animals in the village. Leo's family was poor, and they barely scraped by each year, but he never complained. What he wished for most wasn't wealth or fortune, but to cure his younger sister, Lyra, who had been sick for as long as he could remember. Lyra was frail, her laughter rare, and her strength weak, but her spirit was full of life, and her smile always warmed Leo's heart. One crisp autumn morning, an old traveler passed through the village. He spoke of seeing the silver phoenix high up in the misty mountains, where no one dared to venture. "I saw it with my own eyes," the traveler said, sipping from a cup of warm tea. "Its feathers shimmered in the sunlight, and it flew with grace that no bird on this earth could match." Leo's heart pounded as he overheard the conversation. He knew what he had to do. Without wasting a moment, he gathered his belongings, some bread, a flask of water, and a small pouch of coins. His mother, worried and tearful, tried to stop him. "The misty mountains are dangerous, Leo. No one who has ventured there has returned," she cried. But Leo, with determination in his eyes, gently held her hand. "I must try, mother. For Lyra." And so, with his mother's reluctant blessing, Leo set off on his journey to find the silver phoenix. The path to the misty mountains was long and treacherous. The further Leo traveled, the colder and more desolate the landscape became. Trees were sparse, the wind howled, and thick fog rolled across the ground, making it difficult to see. Yet, Leo pressed on, driven by the love for his sister and the hope of finding the mythical bird. As the days passed, Leo grew weary. His feet ached, and the nights were bitterly cold. But one evening, as he was about to rest beneath a jagged rock, he saw a flicker of silver light in the distance. His heart leaped. Could it be the silver phoenix? With newfound energy, Leo climbed higher, the air growing thinner with each step. Finally, he reached the summit of a cliff, where the fog parted to reveal the most breathtaking sight he had ever seen. There, perched on a stone outcrop, was the silver phoenix. Its feathers glistened in the pale moonlight, each one reflecting the stars above. The bird's eyes were deep and wise, as if it had witnessed the birth and death of 1,000 worlds. For a moment, Leo was speechless. He had found it, the creature of legend. But how would he ask for a feather? He didn't want to hurt the phoenix or force it to give up its magic. So, he approached slowly, his heart full of respect and awe. "Great silver phoenix," Leo said softly, bowing his head. "I seek not riches or power, but the health of my sister, Lyra. She is kind, and though she is weak, her spirit is bright. If you would grant me just one of your feathers, I could save her." The phoenix tilted its head, studying Leo with those ancient, gleaming eyes. Then, it spread its magnificent wings, and a single silver feather floated gently down from its plumage, landing softly at Leo's feet. It sparkled as if filled with stardust. Leo's heart swelled with gratitude. "Thank you," he whispered, picking up the feather. He tucked it carefully into his bag and turned to begin the long journey home. As he descended the mountain, the fog thickened, and the wind grew harsher. The path became unclear, and Leo found himself lost. But just as despair began to creep into his heart, a soft, glowing light appeared before him, the phoenix's feather, glowing bright enough to guide his way. With its help, Leo made his way safely down the mountain and back to the village. When he arrived, the villagers were astonished to see him alive and well. His mother wept tears of joy, and Leo hurried inside to Lyra's bedside. She was paler than ever, her breathing shallow. With trembling hands, Leo took the silver feather from his bag and placed it gently on her chest. "Please, let this work," Leo whispered, holding her hand. The feather began to glow, and as it did, a warm light filled the room. Lyra's cheeks flushed with color, and her eyes fluttered open. She looked at Leo and smiled, her strength returning with every breath. "I feel better," she said, sitting up for the first time in months. Leo's heart soared. The silver phoenix had kept its promise. Lyra was healed. The village celebrated Leo's return, and word of the miracle spread far and wide. But Leo never sought fame or fortune. He was content knowing that his sister was healthy and happy once more. As for the silver phoenix, it was said that it continued to watch over the kingdom, its feathers carrying hope and healing for those who sought it with pure hearts. And so, Leo and Lyra lived happily ever after, their bond stronger than ever, knowing that love and kindness were the true magic that kept the world turning. Once upon a time, in a peaceful village surrounded by rolling hills and serene lakes, lived a young girl named Lyra. Lyra was known throughout the village for her kindness and curiosity. She loved to explore the nearby forests and meadows, always hoping to discover something magical. One sunny afternoon, while wandering through the forest, Lyra stumbled upon a hidden grove she had never seen before. In the center of the grove stood an ancient, ornate mirror framed in silver and gold. The mirror's surface was covered in a shimmering mist, and its frame was adorned with intricate carvings of mystical creatures and flowers. Lyra felt a strange pull towards the mirror and, despite her curiosity, hesitated for a moment before reaching out to touch it. As her fingers brushed the surface, the mist swirled and the mirror's reflection changed. Instead of Lyra's familiar face, she saw a glimpse of a grand, forgotten kingdom, bathed in golden light. The image was mesmerizing, a land of towering castles, lush gardens, and sparkling rivers. But the reflection was fleeting, and soon it faded, leaving only the misty surface behind. Determined to uncover the mystery of the mirror, Lyra decided to take it home. She carefully transported it back to her village, hiding it in her small attic. That night, as she lay in bed, she couldn't stop thinking about the mirror and the kingdom it had shown her. She had a feeling that there was something more to the mirror, something waiting to be discovered. The next morning, Lyra went to the village elder, a wise woman named Maelys, to seek her advice. Maelys had lived in the village for many years and knew a great deal about the history and legends of the land. When Lyra described the mirror and the vision she had seen, Maelys's eyes widened in recognition. "Ah, the enchanted mirror," Maelys said thoughtfully. "Legend has it that this mirror was once the gateway to a magical kingdom called Luminera. Luminera was a place of great beauty and wonder, but it vanished from the world long ago, leaving only tales and whispers behind. The mirror was said to hold the key to finding the kingdom and restoring it to its former glory." Lyra's heart raced with excitement. "Do you think it's possible to find Luminera?" she asked eagerly. Maelys nodded. "It is said that to reach Luminera, one must undertake a quest to prove their bravery, wisdom, and kindness. The mirror will guide you, but you must be prepared for the challenges ahead." With newfound determination, Lyra set out on her quest. The mirror's surface began to glow softly, guiding her towards the enchanted forest. As she journeyed deeper into the forest, she encountered her first challenge, a wide, treacherous chasm with a narrow, wobbly bridge made of vines and branches. Standing at the edge of the chasm, Lyra felt a surge of fear. But then she remembered Maelys's words and took a deep breath. She carefully stepped onto the bridge, focusing on her balance and studying her nerves. As she moved across, the bridge creaked and swayed. But Lyra's determination and calm heart guided her safely to the other side. Her next challenge came in the form of a dark, winding cave. Inside, she found herself face to face with a mischievous fairy named Trix. Trix was known for her trickery and riddles. "To pass through my cave," Trix said with a twinkle in her eye, "you must solve my riddle." Lyra listened carefully as Trix recited her riddle. "I can be cracked, made, told, and played. What am I?" Lyra thought for a moment, recalling all the stories and puzzles she had heard in her village. "The answer is a joke," she said confidently. Trix clapped her tiny hands in delight. "You are correct. You may pass through the cave." As Lyra continued her journey, she encountered her final challenge, a vast, enchanted garden filled with vibrant, magical flowers. In the center of the garden was a majestic phoenix, perched atop a pedestal. The phoenix was covered in brilliant red and gold feathers, and its eyes shone with ancient wisdom. To enter the kingdom of Luminera, the phoenix spoke. "You must show your kindness by caring for the garden. Only then will the way be revealed." Lyra noticed that the garden was overgrown and some flowers were wilting. Without hesitation, she set to work, tending to each plant with care and love. She watered the flowers, pruned the branches, and nurtured the garden back to its former glory. The phoenix watched in approval, its eyes softening with each act of kindness. When the garden was restored, the phoenix flapped its wings and soared into the sky. A magical door appeared at the far end of the garden, bathed in a warm, golden light. The door creaked open, revealing a breathtaking land of sparkling rivers, lush forests, and magnificent castles. Lyra stepped through the door and found herself in the heart of Luminera. The kingdom was even more beautiful than she had imagined. The people of Luminera, who had been waiting for someone to restore their land, greeted her with joy and gratitude. They told her that the kingdom had faded from the world because its magic had been lost. But now, with Lyra's bravery, wisdom, and kindness, the kingdom was revived and its magic restored. The rulers of Luminera, a wise king and queen, honored Lyra with a golden crown and a place of honor in their court. They invited her to stay and become a part of their world, but Lyra knew her place was back in her village. Before she left, the king and queen gifted Lyra a small, enchanted locket that held a piece of Luminera's magic. The locket would allow her to visit the kingdom whenever she wished and keep its magic alive in her heart. With a heavy heart but a spirit full of joy, Lyra returned to her village. She shared her incredible adventure with everyone, and the village flourished with newfound hope and wonder. The enchanted mirror remained a cherished relic, a reminder of the bravery and kindness that had restored a lost kingdom. Lyra's adventures became legendary, and she continued to explore and discover new wonders, always carrying the magic of Luminera with her. She lived a life full of joy, knowing that even the smallest of hearts could accomplish great things. And so, Lyra and her village lived happily ever after, with the magic of Luminera shining brightly in their lives. The end. Once upon a time, in the heart of the enchanted forest, there was a small village called Lumina. This village was famous for its breathtaking night skies, which sparkled with stars as if sprinkled with fairy dust. The villagers believed that the stars held magical powers and that each star was a guardian spirit watching over them. In Lumina lived a kind young girl named Elara, who loved stargazing more than anything. She had a special pendant, a silver locket with a single star-shaped gem, that had been passed down from her grandmother. It was said that the pendant had once shone as brightly as the stars themselves, but over time, it had lost its luster and had become a mere keepsake. One night, as Elara gazed up at the twinkling sky, she noticed something troubling. The stars seemed dimmer, and a strange shadow covered the village. The villagers were worried, for the fading stars seemed to be losing their magic, leaving the village feeling cold and dark. Determined to restore the stars' brilliance, Elara decided to seek help from the legendary Moon Sage, who was said to reside in a hidden glade deep within the enchanted forest. With her pendant around her neck and a heart full of hope, Elara set off on her quest. The enchanted forest was a place of wonder and mystery, with trees that whispered secrets and streams that sang gentle lullabies. As Elara ventured deeper into the forest, she encountered three magical creatures who each offered her a piece of wisdom. The first was a wise old owl perched on an ancient tree. The owl hooted softly and said, "To find the Moon Sage, you must first find the Rainbow Falls. Follow the path of the moonlight and the colors of the rainbow." Elara thanked the owl and continued her journey, guided by the moonlight that filtered through the trees. After some time, she reached the Rainbow Falls, a spectacular waterfall cascading in hues of every color imaginable. She carefully followed the shimmering path created by the moonlight reflecting off the water. At the base of the falls, she encountered a gentle deer with antlers adorned with flowers. The deer spoke in a soft voice, "To meet the Moon Sage, you must cross the Bridge of Echoes. But beware, the echoes will test your heart." Elara saw the Bridge of Echoes, a delicate wooden bridge that spanned a misty ravine. As she crossed, soft whispers and echoes surrounded her, each voice filled with doubt and fear. Remembering her mission and her love for the stars, Elara focused on her determination and courage. She crossed the bridge, ignoring the echoes, and emerged on the other side. Finally, Elara arrived at the Moon Sage's glade, a serene, moonlit clearing surrounded by flowers that glowed with a soft, silvery light. In the center of the glade sat the moon sage, an elegant figure with a flowing robe that sparkled like the night sky. The moon sage greeted Elara with a warm smile. "I have been expecting you. The stars have indeed lost their light because the starlight pendant has lost its magic. To restore the stars, you must rekindle the pendant's light." The moon sage took the pendant and examined it closely. "This pendant was once a powerful conduit of starlight," she explained. "It needs to be recharged with the essence of true magic." The moon sage led Elara to a small, crystal-clear pool in the glade. At its center floated a luminous orb of stardust, shimmering with the pure light of the stars. The sage instructed Elara to hold the pendant above the pool and make a heartfelt wish. Elara closed her eyes and thought of the stars, their beauty, and their importance to her village. She wished for their light to return and for the pendant to shine once more. As she opened her eyes, the pendant began to glow with a brilliant, radiant light, brighter than ever before. The moon sage smiled and said, "Your pure heart and selfless wish have restored the pendant's magic. The stars will now shine brightly once more." With the pendant glowing brightly around her neck, Elara returned to Lumina. As she approached the village, she saw the stars returning to their full brilliance, filling the night sky with their twinkling light. The village was bathed in a warm, comforting glow, and the darkness had vanished. The villagers rejoiced and celebrated Elara's bravery and determination. The stars, now brighter than ever, seemed to dance across the sky, filling everyone's hearts with joy and wonder. Elara learned that the true magic of the stars was not just in their light, but in the love and hope that bound them to the hearts of those who cared for them. The starlight pendant remained a symbol of this magic, a reminder of the courage and selflessness that restored the light of the stars. And so, under the enchanting glow of the starlit sky, Lumina thrived, forever blessed by the magic of a brave young girl and the twinkling light of the stars. In the radiant shimmer of the stars, the village of Lumina discovered that the most profound magic of all was the light that shines from within and the love that brings light to others. Once upon a time, in a charming kingdom nestled between misty mountains and sparkling lakes, there was a small village named Melodia. The villagers were known for their love of music, and their festivals were filled with joyful tunes and harmonious melodies. However, one piece of music had become a legend in Melodia, the lost melody, said to bring peace and happiness to all who heard it. It had been lost for centuries, and many believed it was merely a myth. In this village lived a young and talented violinist named Lila. She was renowned for her skill with the violin, but she often felt that something was missing from her music. One evening, as she practiced in her cozy home, a mysterious old woman appeared at her door. The woman was cloaked in a robe adorned with shimmering stars and carried a delicate, ornate violin case. "I have heard your music, Lila," the old woman said with a twinkle in her eye. "I believe you are destined to find the lost melody. Inside this case is an enchanted violin that holds the key to unlocking it." The old woman handed Lila the violin case and then disappeared into the night. Lila opened the case to reveal a beautiful violin crafted from golden wood and inlaid with celestial patterns. A note attached read, "To find the lost melody, you must complete 3 challenges. Only then will the melody reveal itself." The first challenge, the Whispering Forest. Lila set out the next morning, the enchanted violin tucked under her arm. The first challenge led her to the Whispering Forest, a place known for its soft, murmuring sounds and elusive paths. The trees seemed to hum with ancient tunes, creating a maze of melodies. As she ventured deeper into the forest, Lila encountered a group of talking animals who seemed to be guarding a path. The animals explained that to proceed, Lila must play a melody that harmonizes with the forest's whispers. Lila took out the enchanted violin and began to play. The violin responded with a magical, resonant sound that harmonized perfectly with the forest's murmurs. The trees parted to reveal a hidden path bathed in golden light, leading her to the next challenge. The second challenge, the Floating Isle. The path led Lila to a serene lake with a floating isle in the center, shimmering with an ethereal glow. The isle was surrounded by a ring of mist, and a small boat awaited her at the water's edge. On the floating isle stood a grand, ancient tree with a hollow trunk. Lila approached and found a musical puzzle on the tree's bark, a series of symbols that needed to be played in the correct order to unlock the way forward. Lila carefully interpreted the symbols and played the corresponding notes on her violin. Each note she played caused the tree to light up, revealing more of the symbols. After solving the puzzle, a hidden chamber opened within the tree, revealing a golden harp and a shimmering crystal. The harp strings began to resonate with Lila's music, creating a beautiful harmony. The crystal floated into her hands, and she understood that this was the key to the final challenge. The third challenge, the Cavern of Echoes. With the crystal in hand, Lila journeyed to the Cavern of Echoes, a vast underground cave known for its deep, resonant sounds. The cavern was filled with sparkling crystals that cast colorful reflections on the walls. At the heart of the cavern was a large, ornate door with a musical lock. The crystal had to be placed in a specific slot on the door to open it. Lila noticed that the door had musical notes engraved on it, each corresponding to a different tone. Lila took a deep breath and played a sequence of notes on her enchanted violin. The notes echoed through the cavern, creating a melody that resonated with the cavern's natural sounds. The door slowly creaked open, revealing a hidden chamber filled with glowing scrolls and ancient music sheets. In the center of the chamber was a pedestal holding a beautifully illustrated scroll, the Lost Melody. Lila gently picked up the scroll, and as she unrolled it, she saw the intricate musical notes and patterns that composed the Lost Melody. The revelation. With the Lost Melody in hand, Lila returned to her village. The enchanted violin seemed to hum with excitement as she played the melody for the villagers. As the music filled the air, a magical transformation took place. The village was bathed in a warm, golden light, and the people felt a deep sense of peace and joy. The Lost Melody brought harmony and happiness to everyone who heard it, and the village of Melodia flourished with renewed energy and unity. Lila's music became renowned far and wide, and she continued to play the Lost Melody, sharing its magic with all who needed it. The enchanted violin, now a treasured heirloom, was passed down through generations, and the tale of Lila and the Lost Melody became a cherished story in the kingdom. It was a reminder of the power of music and the magic that lies in pursuing one's dreams with courage and heart. And so, the legend of the Lost Melody lived on, inspiring others to seek out their own magical melodies and share them with the world, bringing light and harmony wherever they went. Once upon a time, in a quaint village named Misty Hollow, nestled between rolling hills and whispering woods, there was a legend of a magical lantern that shone with a light as bright as the sun. This lantern was said to be hidden in the heart of the Whispering Forest and could grant one true wish to anyone who found it. In Misty Hollow lived a young boy named Finn, known for his adventurous spirit and kind heart. Finn had always been fascinated by the stories of the enchanted lantern and dreamed of finding it to help his village, which had been struggling with a prolonged drought. The crops were withering, and the villagers were growing anxious. One evening, under the light of a crescent moon, Finn decided to embark on a quest to find the enchanted lantern. With a sturdy backpack filled with essentials, including a map, a lantern of his own, and a flask of water, he set off towards the Whispering Forest. As Finn ventured into the forest, he noticed the trees seemed to whisper secrets to one another. The path was illuminated by soft, bioluminescent mushrooms, and the air was filled with the sweet songs of nocturnal creatures. The deeper he went, the more the forest seemed alive with magic. After a while, Finn reached a clearing where he encountered a talking squirrel named Nutmeg. Nutmeg was perched on a large, moss-covered stone, his bushy tail flicking with curiosity. "Hello, traveler," Nutmeg chattered. "What brings you to the heart of the Whispering Forest?" Finn explained his quest to find the enchanted lantern and how he hoped it would bring rain to his village. Nutmeg's eyes twinkled with understanding. "The lantern you seek is indeed magical," Nutmeg said, "but before you can find it, you must pass 3 trials to prove your worth." Finn, undeterred by the challenges ahead, agreed to the trials. Nutmeg guided him to the first trial, which was a shimmering pond surrounded by glowing lilies. First trial, the trial of courage. At the pond's edge stood a majestic, but wary, water serpent who had been guarding the pond for centuries. The serpent was known for testing the bravery of those who sought the lantern. "I will only allow you to pass if you show true courage," the serpent said in a deep, resonant voice. "Face your fear and take a leap of faith." Finn took a deep breath and stepped forward. He knew the serpent's test was not to fight but to overcome his own apprehension. Gathering his courage, Finn crossed the pond on a series of floating lily pads, each one glowing brighter with his confident steps. The water serpent nodded in approval and allowed Finn to proceed to the next trial. Second trial, the trial of wisdom. Nutmeg led Finn to an ancient oak tree with branches that seemed to touch the stars. Beneath the tree sat a wise old owl with golden eyes. To find the enchanted lantern, the owl hooted, "You must answer this riddle. I can be cracked, made, told, and played. What am I?" Finn thought carefully and answered, "A joke." The owl's eyes glowed warmly, and the old tree parted to reveal a hidden path leading deeper into the forest. Finn thanked the owl and continued on his journey. Third trial, the trial of kindness. The final trial took Finn to a clearing where a small, injured fawn lay. The fawn's leg was caught in a hunter's trap, and it looked up at Finn with trusting eyes. Finn carefully freed the fawn from the trap and tended to its wounds using a healing balm he had brought with him. He spoke softly to the fawn, soothing it until it was comfortable. The fawn, grateful for Finn's kindness, magically transformed into a beautiful deer with golden antlers. The deer spoke, "You have passed all 3 trials with courage, wisdom, and kindness. Follow me, and I will lead you to the enchanted lantern." The golden deer guided Finn to a hidden grove where the moonlight danced on a pedestal. At the center of the pedestal rested the enchanted lantern, its light casting a warm, golden glow. Finn approached the lantern, and as he touched it, the lantern's light enveloped him in a soft, shimmering aura. He closed his eyes and made his wish, "I wish for rain to restore the land and bring prosperity to my village." The lantern's light grew brighter, and a gentle rain began to fall from the sky, soaking into the thirsty ground of Misty Hollow. The forest glowed with renewed energy as the magic of the lantern spread beyond the grove. Finn returned to his village, where the villagers rejoiced at the sight of the rain. The crops began to flourish, and the village thrived once more. The legend of the enchanted lantern and Finn's bravery became a cherished tale in Misty Hollow, reminding everyone of the power of courage, wisdom, and kindness. And so, under the gentle rain and the bright moonlight, Misty Hollow flourished, forever touched by the magic of the enchanted lantern and the heart of a true hero. Once upon a time, nestled in a secluded valley surrounded by misty mountains, there was a quaint village called Eldoria. The village was renowned for its breathtaking beauty and the magical forest that bordered it, known as the Enchanted Grove. The grove was said to be a place where dreams came alive, and the trees whispered secrets to those who listened. In Eldoria lived a kind-hearted young woman named Leora. She had a deep love for nature and spent her days tending to her garden and exploring the edges of the Enchanted Grove. Leora was known for her kindness to both people and animals. One day, while tending to her garden, she discovered an injured fawn hiding among the flowers. She carefully tended to its wounds, and in gratitude, the fawn nuzzled her gently before disappearing into the forest. That night, as Leora slept, she dreamt of a grand, ancient tree in the heart of the Enchanted Grove. The tree had a golden glow and seemed to call out to her. When she awoke, she felt an inexplicable pull to the forest. She decided to follow her intuition and visit the Enchanted Grove the next morning. As she ventured into the forest, the sunlight filtered through the canopy, creating a shimmering dance of light and shadow. Leora walked deeper and deeper, her heart guided by the sense of wonder and a soft whisper of the trees. After hours of walking, she reached a clearing where the ancient tree from her dream stood majestically. The tree was enormous, its branches stretching high into the sky, and its leaves shimmered like emeralds. At the base of the tree was a small door carved with intricate runes. As Leora approached, the door creaked open, revealing a spiral staircase leading down into the earth. With a mixture of excitement and trepidation, Leora descended the staircase. At the bottom, she found herself in a grand underground hall filled with glowing orbs of light floating in midair. In the center of the hall was a large, ornate pedestal with an ancient book resting upon it. The book's cover was adorned with the same runes as the door. As Leora approached the pedestal, the book opened on its own, revealing pages filled with glowing text. A soft voice filled the hall, saying, "Welcome, Leora. You have been chosen to restore the balance of the enchanted grove. The magic of the grove is fading, and only a pure-hearted soul can rekindle its light." Leora's heart raced with both wonder and concern. "What must I do to restore the magic?" she asked. "The grove's magic is tied to the essence of 3 sacred elements," the voice explained. "You must journey to the 3 mystical springs of the grove and collect a vial of water from each one. The first spring lies within the Misty Falls, the second within the Crystal Cavern, and the third within the Whispering Glade." The book closed gently, and the orbs of light guided Leora back up the staircase and out into the forest. Her quest had begun. Leora's first destination was the Misty Falls. The path was shrouded in a delicate mist, and the sound of rushing water filled the air. She navigated carefully, following the sound until she reached the majestic falls. Behind the cascading water was a hidden cave where the spring's waters glowed with a soft, silver light. Leora filled her vial with the enchanted water and continued her journey. Next, she headed to the Crystal Cavern. The entrance to the cavern was guarded by a gentle dragon named Zephyr. Zephyr was known for his wisdom and serene nature. He questioned Leora about her quest and, upon hearing her earnest intentions, allowed her to enter. Inside the cavern, the walls sparkled with countless crystals, casting colorful reflections everywhere. At the heart of the cavern was the spring, its water shimmering with all the colors of the rainbow. Leora carefully collected the water, and Zephyr wished her luck on her journey. Finally, Leora made her way to the Whispering Glade. The glade was a peaceful forest glen where the trees seemed to hum softly. At the center was the spring, surrounded by delicate flowers that swayed in rhythm with the breeze. As Leora filled her vial, the flowers gently brushed against her, and she felt a deep sense of tranquility. With all 3 vials filled, Leora returned to the ancient tree. The orbs of light guided her back to the underground hall. She placed the vials on the pedestal, and the book opened once more. The orbs of light began to dance around the hall, and the water from the vials poured into the book's pages, causing the runes to glow brightly. The book spoke, "You have restored the balance of the enchanted grove. Its magic shall now flourish once more, and the harmony of the forest shall be preserved." As Leora emerged from the underground hall, she saw that the enchanted grove was more vibrant than ever. The trees were lush, the flowers bloomed in a riot of colors, and the stars above twinkled with renewed brilliance. Returning to Eldoria, Leora found that her village was also flourishing. The villagers celebrated her bravery and kindness, and the village thrived under the renewed magic of the enchanted grove. Leora's story became a cherished tale in Eldoria, and the enchanted grove remained a place of wonder and magic for generations to come. And so, the valley and its people lived happily ever after, forever blessed by the bravery of a pure-hearted young woman and the magic of the enchanted grove. The end. Once upon a time, in a kingdom surrounded by rolling hills and lush forests, there was a small, idyllic village called Fernwood. Fernwood was a peaceful place where the villagers lived in harmony with nature, and the forest that bordered the village was considered enchanted. It was said that deep within the forest lay the heart of the forest, a magical entity that kept the land lush and prosperous. In the village lived a young girl named Eliza, known for her bravery and curiosity. Eliza had always been fascinated by the tales of the heart of the forest and dreamed of exploring the depths of the enchanted woods. Her grandmother often told her stories about a magical lantern that could guide lost souls and reveal hidden secrets. This lantern, known as the Enchanted Lantern, was said to be the key to finding the heart of the forest. One year, a terrible drought struck the kingdom, causing crops to wither and rivers to dry up. The villagers grew desperate, and Eliza decided that she had to find the heart of the forest to restore the land's vitality. With determination in her heart, she set off into the forest, guided by her belief in the stories and the hope of saving her village. As Eliza ventured into the forest, she encountered a series of mystical creatures. The first was a wise old owl perched on a gnarled branch. The owl, named Orin, spoke in a voice like rustling leaves. "Brave traveler, to find the enchanted lantern, you must prove your heart is pure and your spirit strong. The forest will test you, but heed these words: kindness and courage will light your way." Eliza thanked Orin and continued her journey, feeling more determined than ever. The forest grew denser, and soon she came upon a babbling brook. The brook's guardian, a playful water sprite named Lila, danced on the water's surface. To cross the brook, Lila said, "You must solve a riddle. Only then will the way be clear." Lila's riddle was, "I'm not alive, but I grow. I don't have lungs, but I need air. I don't have a mouth, but water kills me. What am I?" Eliza thought carefully and answered, "A fire." Lila clapped her hands with delight. "Well done. The path is now open." The brook's waters parted, revealing stepping stones that led Eliza across safely. She pressed on, guided by the whispers of the forest and the hope that she would find the enchanted lantern. As night fell, Eliza reached a moonlit glade filled with beautiful, glowing flowers. In the center of the glade stood an old, twisted tree with a door at its base. This was the forest's heart tree, said to be the guardian of the enchanted lantern. Eliza approached and knocked gently on the door. The door creaked open, revealing a warm, inviting glow from within. An elderly elf named Eldrick greeted her. Eldrick was the keeper of the lantern and the final guardian of the heart of the forest. "I have been expecting you," Eldrick said. "To earn the enchanted lantern, you must complete one final task. Show me that you have the courage to face your fears and the wisdom to use the lantern's magic for the good of others." Eldrick handed Eliza a small, ornate box. "Inside this box is a challenge that will test you. Open it only when you are ready." Eliza opened the box, and inside was a delicate, shimmering crystal that seemed to pulse with its own light. As she held it, the forest around her began to shift and darken. Shadows grew long, and eerie sounds filled the air. Eliza felt a surge of fear but remembered the stories her grandmother had told her about bravery and compassion. With steady hands, Eliza held the crystal high and began to speak softly about her love for her village, her desire to help, and the hope for a better future. The crystal's light grew brighter, pushing back the shadows and illuminating the path ahead. Eldrick watched with a smile of approval. "You have faced your fears and shown your true intentions. The enchanted lantern is yours." Eldrick handed Eliza the enchanted lantern, which glowed with a warm, comforting light. "Use its magic wisely to find the heart of the forest." Eliza thanked Eldrick and, holding the lantern, followed its light deeper into the forest. The lantern's glow revealed a hidden path that led to a serene glade at the very heart of the forest. At the center of the glade was a magnificent tree with golden leaves and a crystal-clear spring bubbling at its roots. This was the heart of the forest. Eliza placed the lantern beside the spring, and the heart of the forest responded with a radiant burst of energy. The land began to rejuvenate, rivers flowed, crops flourished, and the kingdom's drought was lifted. With the heart of the forest restored, Eliza returned to Fernwood, where the villagers welcomed her with joy and gratitude. The enchanted lantern was placed in a special place in the village, a symbol of hope and the magic of the forest. Eliza's bravery and kindness were celebrated, and her story became a cherished legend. The kingdom prospered once more, and the forest continued to thrive, guided by the light of the enchanted lantern and the courage of a young girl who saved her home. And so, the tale of Eliza and the enchanted lantern was passed down through generations, a reminder that true courage and compassion can illuminate even the darkest paths. The Whispering Glade. Once upon a time, in a land where emerald forests stretched as far as the eye could see, there was a hidden glade known as the Whispering Glade. This enchanted place was said to be protected by ancient magic, and only those with a pure heart could find it. Legends told that the glade held the secrets to healing and happiness. In the nearby village of Fernwood, there lived a gentle young woman named Eloan. Eloan was beloved in her village for her kindness and her gift for tending to the sick and injured. But lately, Fernwood had fallen under a dark cloud of sadness, as a mysterious illness had begun to affect the villagers, leaving them weak and weary. One evening, as Eloan sat by her window, she heard a soft, melodious whisper on the wind. The whispers seemed to call her name, urging her to seek the whispering glade. Determined to find a cure for her village, Eloan decided to follow the mysterious call. With a small satchel of supplies, bread, a flask of water, and a warm cloak, Eloan set out into the forest. The trees were tall and majestic, their leaves rustling with secrets. She followed a narrow path, which seemed to guide her deeper into the woods. The air grew cooler, and the forest became quieter, until only the sound of her footsteps could be heard. After hours of walking, Eloan stumbled upon a large, ancient oak tree with a hollow trunk. Inside the hollow was a delicate, glowing flower. As she reached out to touch it, a gentle voice spoke from the tree. "Welcome, brave Eloan. To enter the Whispering Glade and find the cure for your village, you must complete 3 tasks. Each task will reveal a truth about yourself and your heart." Eloan nodded, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. The first task led her to a clearing where a magical spring bubbled with crystal-clear water. Beside the spring lay a golden cup, and a riddle was inscribed on a nearby stone: "I have cities, but no houses. I have mountains, but no trees. I have water, but no fish. What am I?" Eloan thought deeply about the riddle and answered, "A map." The spring's waters sparkled with approval, and a hidden pathway appeared, leading her further into the forest. The second task brought Eloan to a grove where she found a group of small, enchanted creatures. They were trapped in a tangled web spun by a mischievous spider. The creatures pleaded for help, but they were fearful of the spider, which guarded the web fiercely. Without hesitation, Eloan carefully approached the spider, speaking to it with kindness. She explained how the creatures needed to be freed and promised to help the spider find a new home where it could spin its web in peace. Moved by her compassion, the spider agreed to let the creatures go. Eloan gently untangled the web and freed the creatures, who thanked her with joyous cheers. The grove's trees swayed with delight, and a new path opened up, leading Eloan closer to her goal. The final task was the most challenging. Eloan arrived at a tranquil meadow where a large stone stood with a keyhole. Beside it was a shimmering, golden key on a pedestal. The key was surrounded by a circle of stones, each bearing an inscription about the virtues of bravery, wisdom, and love. Eloan realized that to unlock the stone, she needed to show that she embodied these virtues. She closed her eyes and reflected on her journey. She had shown bravery in facing the unknown, wisdom in solving the riddle, and love in helping the enchanted creatures. With these virtues in her heart, Eloan approached the stone and gently inserted the key. The stone slid away to reveal a hidden passage leading to the Whispering Glade. As Eloan stepped into the glade, she was greeted by a breathtaking sight. The glade was filled with vibrant, healing herbs and flowers, their petals glowing softly in the moonlight. In the center of the glade was a pool of water, and beside it lay an ancient, silver bowl. The same gentle voice spoke again: "You have proven your heart's true worth. Use the herbs and flowers from this glade to heal your village." Eloan carefully gathered the herbs and flowers, filling her satchel with the precious ingredients. As she made her way back to Fernwood, she felt a sense of hope and purpose. Upon her return, Eloan prepared remedies from the glade's plants and distributed them among the villagers. The healing powers of the herbs worked swiftly, and soon, the village was revived with renewed strength and happiness. The villagers celebrated Eloan's bravery and kindness, and the Whispering Glade became a symbol of hope and healing in their hearts. Eloan's story was told for generations, a reminder of the magic that exists when one's heart is true and selfless. And so, the village of Fernwood thrived once more, blessed by the magic of the Whispering Glade and the courageous spirit of one remarkable woman. The tale of the brave little tailor in the starry cloak. Once upon a time, in a bustling kingdom called Eldoria, there was a small tailor's shop at the edge of the marketplace. The shop was owned by a young and clever tailor named Finn. Finn was not just an ordinary tailor, he was known for his extraordinary skill in creating garments that were both beautiful and magical. His finest work was a cloak that shimmered like the night sky, with tiny stars woven into the fabric. It was said that this cloak held great power, but Finn had never sold it, waiting for the right person who truly needed its magic. One day, news spread throughout the kingdom that Princess Maren, the king's only daughter, had fallen under a terrible curse. She had been given an enchanted spindle by a wicked sorcerer, and when she pricked her finger on it, she fell into a deep sleep. The king's magicians tried everything to wake her, but nothing worked. The entire kingdom was in despair. The king, desperate to save his daughter, sent out a decree: anyone who could break the curse and awaken the princess would be rewarded with half the kingdom and the princess's hand in marriage. Many brave knights and wise scholars attempted to break the curse, but all failed. When Finn heard the news, he knew what he had to do. He took the starry cloak from its special place in his shop and set out for the royal palace. Though he was not a knight or a scholar, Finn believed in the magic of the cloak and his own courage. The journey to the palace was long, and Finn had to pass through the Darkwood Forest, a place known for its dangers and mysteries. As he entered the forest, he was met by a talking raven with feathers as black as night. "Where are you going, little tailor?" the raven croaked. "I'm going to the palace to save Princess Maren," Finn replied. The raven tilted its head and looked at the cloak in Finn's arms. "That cloak you carry is special. But beware, the Darkwood is full of tricks and traps. You will need more than just the cloak's magic." "I will be careful," Finn said. "Thank you for the warning." The raven cawed and flew off into the trees. Finn continued his journey, keeping his wits about him. Soon, he encountered a deep, swirling fog that covered the path. In the fog, he could hear strange whispers, telling him to turn back. But Finn wrapped the starry cloak around himself, and the stars on the cloak began to glow, lighting his way through the fog. The whispers faded, and Finn pressed on. Next, Finn came to a rushing river with no bridge or boat in sight. The river was too wide and too strong to swim across. As he stood at the edge, wondering what to do, he noticed a large, shimmering fish swimming close to the shore. "Why do you look so troubled, little tailor?" the fish asked. "I need to cross the river to reach the palace, but there is no way across," Finn replied. The fish flicked its tail and splashed the water. "I will help you cross, but first, you must help me. There is a hook caught in my fin, and it causes me great pain." Without hesitation, Finn knelt down and carefully removed the hook from the fish's fin. The fish sighed with relief and smiled. "Thank you, kind tailor. Now, climb onto my back, and I will carry you across the river." Finn did as the fish said, and with a powerful leap, the fish carried him safely to the other side. Finn thanked the fish and continued on his way. Finally, Finn arrived at the royal palace. The king greeted him with a weary smile, though he doubted that a simple tailor could succeed where so many others had failed. Nevertheless, he led Finn to the chamber where Princess Maren lay, still under the curse. The room was dark, with thick curtains drawn to block out the light. Princess Maren lay on a grand bed, her face pale and her breathing shallow. The cursed spindle was placed on a pedestal beside her, still glowing with a malevolent light. Finn approached the princess and carefully draped the starry cloak over her. The stars on the cloak began to twinkle brightly, casting a gentle light over the room. As the light touched the cursed spindle, it started to crack and crumble until it dissolved into dust. The curse was broken, and Princess Maren's eyes fluttered open. She took a deep breath and looked around, her face lighting up with relief and gratitude. The king, overwhelmed with joy, embraced his daughter and turned to Finn. "You have done what no one else could," the king said. "You have saved my daughter and our kingdom. As promised, you shall have half the kingdom and the princess's hand in marriage." But Finn, humble as ever, shook his head. "I'm honored by your offer, your majesty, but I'm just a tailor. I have no desire to rule a kingdom or marry a princess. All I wish is to continue my work and help those in need." The king was taken aback by Finn's modesty, but he respected the tailor's wishes. "Very well, Finn. You may keep the starry cloak, and you shall be rewarded with a chest of gold. Our kingdom will always be in your debt." Finn thanked the king and Princess Maren, and after a grand celebration, he returned to his little shop at the edge of the marketplace. The starry cloak was placed back in its special place, waiting for the next time its magic would be needed. And so, the brave little tailor lived happily ever after, content with his simple life, knowing that true courage and kindness are the greatest treasures of all. I hope you enjoyed this fairy tale. In a quiet corner of the world, where meadows met forests and rivers sparkled under the sun, there was a small, charming village named Solara. The villagers of Solara lived in harmony with nature, but they cherished most the clear, starry nights when the sky came alive with twinkling stars. Among these villagers was a young boy named Leo, who had a special bond with the stars. Ever since he could remember, he would lie on the grass at night, gazing up at the sky, feeling as though he could reach out and touch the stars. His favorite star was a particularly bright one that always seemed to shine with an almost magical brilliance. One evening, as the full moon cast its silver light over the village, Leo noticed something unusual. The bright star he so loved was dimming, its light flickering weakly. Concerned, he ran to the village elder, a wise woman named Mira, and told her about the star. Mira listened carefully and said, "That star is known as Lumina, the star of wishes. It is said that Lumina and the moon share a special bond. And if Lumina's light fades, it could mean that the moon's magic is in trouble. You must seek the moon and find out what has happened." With a heart full of determination, Leo set out on a quest to find the moon and restore Lumina's light. He followed the silver moonlight through the forest, guided by the soft glow of the moon and the faint twinkle of Lumina in the sky. After a long journey, Leo arrived at a mystical clearing where the moon's light was strongest. In the center of the clearing was a shimmering, crescent-shaped pool of moonlight. As Leo approached, he saw that the moon was not in the sky but rather reflected in the pool, looking sad and dim. Leo stepped closer and spoke gently, "Oh, moon, why are you so sad? Your light has faded, and it's affecting Lumina, my favorite star." The moon, with a voice as gentle as a whispering breeze, replied, "My light has grown weak because the celestial gem, which powers my magic, has been stolen. Without it, I cannot shine as brightly, and my bond with Lumina is weakened." Leo listened with compassion and asked, "Where can I find this celestial gem?" The moon's reflection pointed to the dark depths of the forest. The gem was taken by a mischievous sprite named Zephyr, who lives in the heart of the forest. You must find Zephyr and return the gem to restore my light and Lumina's. With a renewed sense of purpose, Leo ventured deeper into the forest. The trees were tall and their branches intertwined, creating a canopy of shadows and whispers. He navigated through the dense foliage until he came upon a small, hidden grove filled with sparkling lights and fluttering fireflies. In the center of the grove was Zephyr, a playful sprite with a twinkle in his eye and a mischievous grin. Zephyr was holding the celestial gem, which glowed brightly but was dimming as the sprite played with it. Leo approached Zephyr and spoke kindly, "Zephyr, I've come to ask for the celestial gem. The moon's light is fading, and it's affecting Lumina, the star of wishes." Zephyr looked at Leo with a hint of guilt in his eyes. "I took the gem because I wanted to create a grand display of light for the forest. I didn't realize it would cause such trouble." Leo smiled warmly. "I understand your desire to bring light to the forest, but the moon and the stars need the celestial gem to shine their brightest. If you return it, we can all work together to make the night even more magical." Zephyr, moved by Leo's words, nodded and handed over the celestial gem. "I'm sorry for the trouble I caused. I'll help you return the gem to the moon." With Zephyr's help, Leo returned to the moonlit clearing. The moon's light brightened as soon as the celestial gem was placed back in its rightful place. The sky above sparkled with renewed brilliance, and Lumina's light became steady and bright once more. The moon spoke with gratitude, "Thank you, brave Leo, and kind Zephyr. Your selflessness has restored the balance of the night. As a token of our thanks, we grant you a wish." Leo thought for a moment and said, "I wish for the magic of the stars and the moon to always shine brightly, so that everyone can feel the wonder and joy that I do." The moon and the stars glowed even brighter, filling the sky with a dazzling display of light. Zephyr promised to use his magic to spread joy and wonder throughout the forest. Leo returned to Solara, where the villagers marveled at the brilliant night sky. They celebrated the restoration of Lumina's light and the moon's radiant glow. Leo's bravery and kindness had brought a new magic to their lives. From that night on, every time Leo looked up at the stars, he felt a special connection to the moon and Lumina, knowing that the magic of the night was always there, shining brightly for all to see. Once upon a time, in a realm where the skies were perpetually bathed in twilight hues, there existed a wondrous land known as the Kingdom of Light. This kingdom was renowned for its breathtaking beauty, where the sun always seemed to be setting in a cascade of golden and crimson hues. The heart of the kingdom was the Grand Observatory, where the brightest minds studied the stars and their mysteries. The kingdom was ruled by a wise and gentle queen named Seraphina. She was beloved by her people for her kindness and her dedication to keeping the kingdom's light shining brightly. Queen Seraphina's greatest treasure was the Celestial Star, a magical star that hovered above the Grand Observatory and provided the kingdom with its eternal twilight glow. The star was said to hold the power to maintain harmony and balance in the realm. One fateful night, as the kingdom prepared for the annual Festival of Lights, a sudden storm swept through the land. The winds howled, the skies darkened, and the celestial star flickered ominously. Despite the efforts of the kingdom's finest astronomers and wizards, the star began to dim and, with a final flash, vanished from the sky. Without the celestial star's light, the Kingdom of Light fell into darkness. The once vibrant landscapes became shadowy and cold, and the people's spirits began to wane. Queen Seraphina, heartbroken but resolute, knew that she had to find the lost star and restore the kingdom's light. She gathered her most trusted advisors and set off on a quest to retrieve the celestial star. Accompanying the queen were 3 loyal companions: Finian, a brave knight; Elara, a gifted enchantress; and Joran, a clever and resourceful scholar. Together, they journeyed through the land, following clues and ancient prophecies that hinted at the star's whereabouts. Their first destination was the Whispering Woods, a mystical forest known for its elusive creatures and enigmatic whispers. As they ventured into the woods, they encountered a wise old tree named Elderwood, who spoke in riddles. Elderwood told them, "To find what you seek, you must seek within, for the path to the star lies beneath the skin." Puzzled but determined, Queen Seraphina and her companions continued their search. In the heart of the Whispering Woods, they discovered a hidden cave, its entrance obscured by overgrown vines. Inside the cave, they found a series of intricate puzzles and challenges that tested their wits and courage. Elara used her magical abilities to decipher ancient runes and unlock hidden passages. Finian's strength and bravery helped them overcome physical obstacles, while Joran's sharp intellect solved complex riddles. After overcoming these trials, they reached a chamber filled with glowing crystals that resonated with a gentle, familiar light. The crystals revealed a map showing the path to the next stage of their journey, the Moonlit Lake. According to the map, the lake held the key to finding the celestial star. As they approached the Moonlit Lake, they were greeted by a celestial swan named Leora, who guarded the lake and its secrets. Leora spoke with a voice as soothing as the night breeze. "To reach the star, you must prove your hearts are true. Only by embracing the light within can you find the way through." Queen Seraphina and her companions reflected on Leora's words. They realized that the journey had not only tested their skills but also their character. They had faced their fears, helped one another, and remained steadfast in their quest. Leora guided them across the shimmering waters of the Moonlit Lake to a hidden island in the center. On the island was a pedestal with a beautiful, radiant orb, the heart of the moon. The orb pulsed with a gentle light, which seemed to resonate with the celestial star. As Queen Seraphina touched the heart of the moon, the orb's light expanded, forming a bridge of shimmering stardust leading to the sky. The bridge connected them to a hidden realm above the clouds, where the lost celestial star was held captive by a dark sorcerer named Malakar. Malakar had stolen the celestial star, hoping to harness its power for his own dark purposes. When Seraphina and her companions confronted him, Malakar was taken aback by their bravery and the purity of their intentions. The confrontation was intense, but with the combined strength of Finian's sword, Elara's spells, and Joran's clever tactics, they managed to defeat Malachar and free the celestial star. The star, once again free, shone brightly with a renewed brilliance. It floated gracefully back to the grand observatory, and as it settled into its place in the sky, the Kingdom of Light was bathed in its warm, golden glow once more. The darkness lifted, and the kingdom rejoiced in the restoration of their beloved light. Queen Seraphina and her companions returned to the kingdom as heroes. The Festival of Lights was celebrated with even greater joy than before, honoring their bravery and the unity that had saved their land. The celestial star once again shone brightly, and the kingdom thrived in the gentle twilight. Its people forever grateful for the courage and wisdom of their queen and her loyal friends. And so, the Kingdom of Light continued to flourish under the watchful glow of the celestial star, a reminder that even in the darkest times, the light within one's heart can guide the way. Once upon a time, in a lush and vibrant land called Eldergrove, there was a village nestled between towering, ancient trees and sparkling brooks. The village was renowned for its annual Festival of Lights, a magical celebration where lanterns were floated on the river to honor the spirits of nature. Among the villagers was a spirited young girl named Lila, known for her love of adventure and her boundless curiosity. One autumn evening, as the Festival of Lights approached, Lila wandered into the forest in search of the perfect lantern to bring to the celebration. The forest was alive with the hues of fall, crimson, gold, and amber, casting a warm glow over the landscape. As she explored deeper into the woods, she stumbled upon a hidden path she had never seen before. Drawn by her curiosity, Lila followed the path until she reached a glade where an ancient, colossal tree stood. Its trunk was adorned with intricate carvings of mythical creatures, and its branches seemed to touch the sky. At the base of the tree, a small door was nestled among the roots. Lila gently pushed the door open and discovered a spiral staircase leading downward. Taking a deep breath, she descended the stairs, which led her to a vast underground chamber filled with shimmering light. At the center of the chamber was a pedestal holding an ornate, golden lantern and a scroll. Lila approached the pedestal and unrolled the scroll, which read, "Asterisk, to unlock the magic of the Festival of Lights, 3 trials must be completed. Seek the gifts of the forest, a feather of courage, a gem of wisdom, and a petal of kindness. Only then will the lantern's true power be revealed." Asterisk determined to complete the trials, Lila set off on her quest. The first trial led her to the Whispering Pines, a part of the forest known for its ethereal, talking trees. As she entered the grove, a wise old owl named Orin perched on a branch, watching her intently. To gain the feather of courage, Orin hooted, "You must face your deepest fear. The shadow of the forest will test you." Lila took a deep breath and followed the owl's directions into a misty part of the forest. There, she encountered her deepest fear, a towering, shadowy figure that seemed to loom over her. With a pounding heart, she stood her ground, remembering the courage she had shown throughout her life. The shadow began to shrink and dissolve, revealing a beautiful, iridescent feather on the ground. With the feather of courage in hand, Lila continued her journey to find the gem of wisdom. Her path led her to the Crystal Caverns, a labyrinth of glistening stones and sparkling walls. Inside, she met a graceful, silver-haired fox named Nessa. To find the gem of wisdom, Nessa said, "You must solve a riddle. Answer correctly, and the gem will reveal itself." The riddle was, asterisk, "I can fly without wings. I can cry without eyes. Wherever I go, darkness flies. What am I?" Asterisk Lila thought carefully and answered, "A cloud." Nessa nodded approvingly, and the cavern walls parted to reveal a dazzling, azure gem nestled on a pedestal. Lila took the gem, feeling its cool, calming energy. The final trial led Lila to the enchanted garden, where the air was filled with the fragrance of blooming flowers. A gentle, golden butterfly named Bella fluttered before her. To receive the petal of kindness, Bella explained, "You must help those in need. Only then will the petal come to you." Lila noticed a group of small, struggling creatures, a family of hedgehogs, a pair of lost fireflies, and a young rabbit who had hurt its paw. With a heart full of compassion, she helped each of them, tending to their needs and offering comfort. As she finished helping the last creature, Bella appeared with a glowing, soft petal of the most delicate pink. "You have shown true kindness," Bella said. "The petal is yours." With the feather of courage, the gem of wisdom, and the petal of kindness, Lila returned to the ancient tree and placed the treasures around the golden lantern. The lantern began to glow with a radiant, magical light, casting shimmering patterns on the walls. As she carried the lantern back to the village, the Festival of Lights began. The lantern's magic infused the celebration with an otherworldly beauty. Lanterns floated gracefully on the river, and the entire village glowed with a soft, enchanting light. Lila's adventure became a cherished tale in Eldergrove, a story of bravery, wisdom, and kindness that illuminated the hearts of all who heard it. The Festival of Lights was forever marked by the magic of Lila's journey, reminding the villagers of the power of courage, wisdom, and compassion. And so, Eldergrove flourished with joy and magic, and Lila's name became a symbol of the light that shines within us all. Once upon a time, in the enchanting kingdom of Serendel, nestled between emerald hills and sparkling lakes, there was a quaint village named Fernwood. The village was renowned for its breathtaking gardens and the sweet melodies of its birds, particularly the starling known as Twyla. Twyla had a magical song that could bring peace and joy to anyone who heard it. However, one day, a dark cloud of sadness swept over Fernwood. The villagers discovered that Twyla had gone missing. Without her song, the gardens wilted, and the once vibrant village fell into despair. The heartbroken villagers feared that without Twyla, their beloved village would never return to its former glory. Among the villagers was a brave and kind-hearted girl named Lila. Lila had grown up with Twyla's songs and knew how much the starling meant to everyone. Determined to find Twyla and restore happiness to Fernwood, Lila set off on a quest to search for the missing bird. Guided by a small, shimmering pendant Twyla had once gifted her. Lila ventured into the Whispering Woods, where it was rumored that magical creatures roamed. The pendant glowed softly as she walked, leading her deeper into the forest. Her first challenge came in the form of a mischievous sprite named Puck. Puck was known for playing tricks on travelers. To pass, Lila had to solve one of Puck's riddles. What comes once in a minute, twice in a moment, but never in 1,000 years? Lila thought deeply and then answered, the letter M. Puck, impressed by her cleverness, allowed her to continue and even gave her a clue about where Twyla might be. Following Puck's clue, Lila arrived at the enchanted glade, where an ancient oak tree stood with its branches twisted like the arms of a giant. The tree was guarded by a wise old owl named Orin, who spoke in riddles and had seen many things in his lifetime. Orin told Lila that Twyla was taken by a shadowy figure who sought to capture the magic of the starling's song for their own. To find this figure, Lila needed to prove her courage and heart by facing her greatest fear. Orin led her to a shimmering pool that reflected her own image. Lila hesitated, but she remembered her love for Twyla and her desire to help her village. She stepped forward, and the reflection began to change, showing not just her fears but also her strengths and determination. Orin, seeing her bravery, directed her to the next part of her journey. Following Orin's directions, Lila reached the base of the misty mountain, where the shadowy figure, known as the Nightshade Sorcerer, was rumored to reside. As she climbed the mountain, she encountered swirling mists that obscured her path. The pendant's glow grew brighter, guiding her through the fog. At the summit, Lila found the Nightshade Sorcerer's lair, a dark and foreboding place filled with eerie shadows. The sorcerer was preparing to steal Twyla's magic by trapping her in a cage of enchanted bars. Summoning all her courage, Lila confronted the sorcerer. "Why do you seek to capture Twyla's song?" she asked. The sorcerer revealed that he was once a musician whose own music had lost its magic and beauty. He believed that by taking Twyla's song, he could restore his own lost talents. Lila spoke from the heart, sharing stories of how Twyla's song had brought joy and healing to Fernwood. She offered a different solution. Instead of taking what belongs to others, find a way to discover the magic within yourself. True beauty comes from sharing and creating, not from taking. The sorcerer was moved by Lila's words. he realized that his quest for Twyla's magic was misguided and that he needed to find his own path to rediscover his love for music. With a wave of his hand, he released Twyla from the cage and allowed Lila to take her back. Twyla, overjoyed to be reunited with her friend, began to sing a melody so beautiful that it brought light and warmth back to the mountain. The sorcerer, inspired by the song, promised to seek a new way to find his own musical magic. Lila and Twyla returned to Fernwood as heroes. The village rejoiced at their return, and the gardens bloomed once more with vibrant colors. The villagers celebrated Lila's bravery and Twyla's enchanting song, which continued to fill their hearts with joy. The Nightshade sorcerer, having learned an important lesson, traveled far and wide, sharing his newfound wisdom and eventually discovering a new melody that brought happiness to others. Fernwood thrived under the melody of Twyla's song, and Lila's courage became a legend told for generations. And so, in the kingdom of Sarandel, where the magic of a single starling's song could change lives, Lila and Twyla lived happily ever after, their bond forever cherished by the people of Fernwood.
Once upon a time, in a quaint village surrounded by rolling hills and sparkling streams, there was a little shop known as the Enchanted Clockmaker. This shop, owned by a gentle and wise clockmaker named Oliver, was renowned for its magical clocks. Each clock had the power to grant one special wish to the person who understood its true purpose. Oliver had inherited the shop from his grandfather and had always maintained its magic with great care. The most remarkable clock in the shop was the Grand Timekeeper, a magnificent timepiece with intricate carvings of stars and moons, and a crystal-clear face that seemed to hold the secrets of time itself. The village loved Oliver and his clocks, but none had ever been bold enough to make a wish on the Grand Timekeeper. That is, until a young girl named Lily came into the shop. The mysterious visitor Lily was a kind-hearted girl with a bright smile and a curious mind. She had heard stories of Oliver's magical clocks and was fascinated by them.
Her family was poor, and her only wish was to bring happiness and comfort to her ailing mother. One chilly autumn afternoon, Lily entered the Enchanted Clockmaker, her eyes wide with wonder. Oliver greeted her with a warm smile. "Welcome, Lily. What brings you to my shop today?" "I've heard about your magical clocks," Lily said hesitantly. "I've come to see if one of them can help my mother." Oliver's eyes softened as he listened to Lily's story. "The Grand Timekeeper is a special clock," he said gently. "It can grant one wish, but it requires a heart that truly understands its magic. If you're ready, you may try." The test of the Grand Timekeeper. Oliver led Lily to the Grand Timekeeper, its face glowing softly. "To make your wish, you must first learn the secret of the clock," he explained. "There is a hidden mechanism that only reveals itself to those who approach with a pure heart." Lily examined the clock closely, her fingers tracing the intricate designs. She noticed a small, hidden keyhole on the side of the clock that was not immediately visible. Next to it was a tiny inscription that read, "What is given freely with love is never lost." Lily thought about this inscription and realized that the clock's magic must be linked to love and selflessness. With this understanding, she placed her hand on the clock and whispered her wish, "I wish for my mother to be well and happy." The secret revealed as Lily spoke her wish, the Grand Timekeeper began to glow brighter. The clock's hands moved slowly, aligning with the inscription's words. A soft chime echoed through the shop, and the hidden mechanism of the clock clicked open, revealing a delicate golden key. Oliver looked at Lily with admiration. "You found the secret of the Grand Timekeeper," he said. "Your heart is pure, and your wish is sincere." A magical transformation the moment Lily took the golden key, a warm, golden light enveloped her. She felt a gentle breeze as if the clock's magic was reaching out to touch her. Oliver handed her a small, ornate box that had appeared alongside the golden key. "Open this box when you're ready," Oliver advised. "It will help you with your wish." Lily thanked Oliver and hurried back to her home, her heart full of hope. When she arrived, she found her mother resting in bed, looking weak and tired. Lily opened the ornate box, and inside was a small vial of shimmering liquid and a note that read, "For healing and happiness." With trembling hands, Lily gave her mother a few drops of the liquid. The effect was immediate. Her mother's color returned, and her strength seemed to be renewed. The entire house was filled with a warm, comforting light. Lily's mother sat up, looking healthier and happier than she had in months. The celebration word of the miracle spread quickly through the village, and soon everyone gathered at Lily's home to celebrate. They marveled at the healing and praised Lily's bravery and kindness. Oliver was also there, watching with a proud smile. Lily's family, once struggling, was now filled with joy and gratitude. The village came together to support them, and soon their lives improved in many ways. The magic of the Grand Timekeeper had not only healed Lily's mother but also brought the community closer together. The legacy of the Grand Timekeeper. As time passed, the story of Lily and the Grand Timekeeper became a cherished tale in the village. The enchanted clock continued to stand in Oliver's shop, a symbol of hope and the power of love and selflessness. Oliver eventually retired, passing on the shop and the Grand Timekeeper to a new generation of clockmakers, but the magic of the clock lived on. It continued to remind everyone that the greatest wishes come from the heart and that true magic is found in acts of love and kindness. And so, the village thrived with happiness and prosperity, and the legend of the Grand Timekeeper was told for generations, a testament to the enduring power of a pure heart. The end. The tale of the Whispering Willow. Once upon a time, in a small village nestled between rolling hills and dense forests, there was a legend about a magical tree known as the Whispering Willow. This tree was said to possess the power to grant the deepest desires of those pure of heart, but only if they could find it deep within the forest where it grew, hidden from all but the bravest souls. In this village lived a young girl named Lila. She was known for her kindness and her unshakable belief in the magic of the world. Lila lived with her grandmother, who often told her stories of the Whispering Willow and the many wonders that awaited those who could find it. One day, as Lila and her grandmother sat by the fire, her grandmother told her about the Whispering Willow's most precious gift, the ability to bring back lost loved ones, if the seeker's heart was pure and their intentions noble. "Grandmother," Lila asked softly, "do you think the Whispering Willow could bring back my parents?" Lila's parents had passed away when she was very young, and though she had grown up with love and care, she often dreamed of seeing them again. Her grandmother looked at her with gentle eyes. "The Whispering Willow can do many things, my dear. But it is not the power of the tree alone, it is the love in your heart that truly matters. If you believe strongly enough, and your wish is pure, perhaps the tree will answer you." That night, as Lila lay in bed, she made up her mind. She would find the Whispering Willow and ask for her parents to return. With her heart full of hope, she set out early the next morning, leaving a note for her grandmother so she wouldn't worry. Lila journeyed into the forest, following the stories her grandmother had told her. She walked for hours, the trees growing taller and the forest denser as she went deeper. The sunlight filtered through the leaves, casting dancing shadows on the ground, and the sounds of the village faded into the distance. As she ventured further, Lila began to hear a soft whispering carried on the wind. The whispers seemed to call her name, guiding her deeper into the forest. She followed the sound, her heart pounding with a mix of fear and excitement. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, Lila came to a small clearing. In the center of the clearing stood the most magnificent tree she had ever seen. Its trunk was wide and ancient, with bark that shimmered in the light. Its branches stretched high into the sky, and its leaves, a deep, vibrant green, rustled softly, as if whispering secrets to the wind. Lila knew at once that she had found the Whispering Willow. She approached the tree cautiously, her heart full of hope. "Great Whispering Willow," she called out, her voice trembling slightly, "I have come to ask for a wish. Please, if it is within your power, bring back my parents. I miss them so much." The tree's leaves rustled more loudly, and the whispers grew stronger. Lila listened closely and realized that the whispers were forming words. "Lila, brave and kind," the tree whispered, its voice as soft as a breeze, "your heart is pure, and your wish is full of love. But be warned, young one, that the gift you seek comes with a price. Are you willing to give up something precious to you in exchange?" Lila hesitated. She had nothing of great value, only the love in her heart and the memories of her parents. But she knew that she would give anything to see them again. Yes, she replied firmly. I am willing. The whispering willow's branches swayed, and its leaves shimmered with a gentle light. Very well, Lila. For your parents to return, you must give up your memories of them. You will no longer remember the time you spent together, but they will live again. Lila felt a pang in her heart. To forget her parents, even if it meant they would be alive again, was a difficult choice. She closed her eyes and thought of her grandmother's words. It was not the power of the tree alone, but the love in her heart that mattered. After a long moment, Lila opened her eyes. I will do it, she said, her voice steady. If it means they can live and be happy again, I will give up my memories. The whispering willow's leaves rustled once more, and a soft light enveloped Lila. She felt a warm, comforting sensation, as if a gentle hand were guiding her. The memories of her parents, their faces, their voices, the times they had shared, began to fade, replaced by a sense of peace. When the light faded, Lila found herself standing alone in the clearing. The whispering willow was still there, its leaves whispering softly, but something had changed. She no longer felt the ache of loss, only a gentle calm. Suddenly, she heard voices behind her. Turning around, Lila saw two figures approaching from the edge of the clearing, a man and a woman, both with kind eyes and warm smiles. Though she didn't recognize them, something deep inside her told her that these were the people she had wished for. Lila, the woman said softly, her voice full of love. It's time to go home. Without hesitation, Lila ran to them, feeling a sense of belonging she couldn't quite explain. As they walked back through the forest together, the sun began to set, casting a golden glow over the trees. Though Lila's memories were gone, her heart was full, and she knew that she had made the right choice. When they reached the village, Lila's grandmother was waiting for them. Tears of joy filled her eyes as she embraced the two strangers, knowing that her granddaughter's wish had been granted. From that day on, Lila lived happily with her new family. The whispering willow continued to stand in the forest, waiting for the next pure-hearted soul to find it. And though Lila no longer remembered her parents, the love in her heart remained, a testament to the sacrifice she had made. And so, the village continued to thrive, with the legend of the whispering willow passed down through the generations, reminding all who heard it that true magic lies not in the granting of wishes, but in the love and selflessness that makes those wishes possible. And they all lived happily ever after. I hope you enjoyed this fairy tale. Once upon a time, in a lush valley surrounded by majestic mountains, lay the village of Luminera. This village was known for its enchanting night sky, where the moonlight danced in mesmerizing patterns, casting a gentle glow over the land. The villagers believed that the moonlight was a gift from a mysterious moon spirit who lived high above, in a palace made of moonbeams. Among the villagers was a young girl named Lyra. She had a special talent for playing the harp, a gift passed down through generations. Each night, she would sit by her window and play melodies that seemed to blend with the moonlight, making the stars twinkle even brighter. One evening, as Lyra played a particularly haunting melody, she noticed a peculiar sight. A silver thread of moonlight began to form a shimmering path leading up the mountain. Intrigued, Lyra decided to follow it. She packed a small satchel with provisions in her favorite harp, and set off under the light of the full moon. The path was winding and steep, but Lyra's determination was unwavering. As she climbed higher, the air grew colder, and the moonlight seemed to guide her steps. Eventually, she reached a grand archway made entirely of iridescent moonlight. Beyond it lay the moon spirit's palace, floating amidst the stars. Lyra approached the palace, which was a marvel of delicate beams and glowing orbs. The moon spirit, a graceful being with flowing silver hair and eyes that mirrored the night sky, awaited her. The spirit's presence was both awe-inspiring and calming. "Welcome, Lyra," the moon spirit said in a voice like a soft breeze. "I have been expecting you. You play the harp with a heart full of moonlight." Lyra bowed respectfully. "Thank you. I followed the moonlight path, hoping to learn more about its magic. I want to understand how to play melodies that bring joy to my village." The moon spirit's eyes sparkled with approval. "The moonlight is not just a light, it is a living melody, a song of the universe. I weave it into the night sky to bring peace and beauty. However, there is a secret to its magic. To truly harmonize with it, one must understand the 3 moonlit trials." Lyra's heart raced with excitement. "What are the moonlit trials?" The moon spirit explained, "The first trial is the trial of harmony. You must play a melody that resonates with the moonlight's rhythm. The second is the trial of reflection, where you must use your music to reflect the emotions of the moonlight. The final trial is the trial of courage, where you must face a challenge guided by your own melody." With the trials laid out before her, Lyra took a deep breath and prepared for the first trial. She was led to a chamber where moonlight swirled in intricate patterns. She took her harp and began to play a melody. At first, it felt like the notes were fighting against the moonlight, but then, as she listened and adjusted her playing, she found a rhythm that matched the moon's gentle dance. The chamber filled with harmonious light, signaling that she had passed the trial of harmony. Next, Lyra faced the trial of reflection. She was taken to a serene lake where the moonlight created a mirror-like surface. The moon spirit instructed her to play a melody that would reflect the deep emotions hidden within the moonlight. As Lyra played, the moonlight on the lake began to shimmer with colors of joy, sorrow, and peace. The lake reflected these emotions beautifully, showing that Lyra had successfully passed this trial as well. Finally, the trial of courage awaited. Lyra was led to a dark, shadowy grove where the moonlight barely reached. Here, she was faced with a challenging riddle spoken by a shadowy figure. To solve it, Lyra needed to play a melody that would illuminate the grove and reveal the answer. Drawing upon her inner strength and the melodies she had learned, Lyra played with all her heart. The moonlight responded, breaking through the shadows and revealing the answer to the riddle. With the grove now bathed in moonlight, Lyra had completed the final trial. The moon spirit appeared once more, smiling warmly. "You have shown great skill and bravery. Your understanding of the moonlight's magic is profound. As a reward, I will grant you a moonlit harp, enchanted with the essence of the night sky. Use it wisely to bring joy and harmony to your village." With the moonlit harp in hand, Lyra descended the mountain and returned to Luminera. She played her new harp every night, filling the village with melodies that mirrored the moonlight's beauty. The village flourished under her music, and the night sky became even more magical, reflecting the harmonious bond between the moonlight and the people below. And so, Lyra's gift of music continued to light up the nights, a timeless reminder of the magic that connects hearts, dreams, and the gentle dance of moonlight. Once upon a time, in a quaint village named Willowbrook, nestled between lush green hills and a sparkling river, there stood an ancient willow tree by the riverbank. The villagers called it the Whispering Willow because it was said to speak to those who truly listened. This magical tree was rumored to hold the secrets of the land and the wisdom of ages past. In Willowbrook lived a kind-hearted girl named Isla. She had always been fascinated by the Whispering Willow and its mysterious whispers. Her grandmother, who was the village healer, often spoke of how the tree had guided their ancestors through times of need. Isla longed to hear the whispers herself and discover the secrets the tree held. One summer evening, as the sky turned shades of pink and gold, Isla decided to visit the Whispering Willow. She walked along the river, her heart full of curiosity and wonder. When she reached the willow, its long, graceful branches swayed gently, as if beckoning her closer. Isla settled down beneath the tree and closed her eyes, listening to the soft rustling of the leaves. She had heard that the tree spoke only to those who were patient and had a pure heart. She focused on her breath, letting go of her thoughts, and soon began to hear a faint, melodious voice. "Welcome, Isla," the voice said. "I have been waiting for you. To reveal the secrets you seek, you must first understand the true nature of your heart." Isla opened her eyes and saw a golden light shimmering through the branches. The Whispering Willow continued, "In this land, there is a hidden treasure, one that holds the power to bring joy and healing. But to find it, you must embark on a journey of self-discovery and kindness. Intrigued and excited, Isla asked, "Where can I find this treasure, and what must I do?" The whispering willow rustled its leaves thoughtfully. "To find the treasure, you must follow the path of the stars. 3 tasks await you. Complete them with a selfless heart, and the treasure will be revealed." With renewed determination, Isla set off on her journey. That night, the sky was filled with stars, and she followed their twinkling guidance into the forest. The first task led her to a small village within the forest where the inhabitants were a family of talking rabbits. The rabbits were distressed because their home had been flooded, and they were unable to repair it. Isla approached the rabbits with compassion and offered her help. She worked alongside them, gathering twigs and leaves to build a new shelter. The rabbits were grateful and, as a token of their appreciation, gave Isla a tiny, sparkling key. "The key will guide you," the eldest rabbit said. "But only if you continue to act with kindness." Isla thanked the rabbits and continued on her way. The second task took her to a hidden glade where a wise old fox with a mane of silver fur awaited her. The fox's home was surrounded by thorny brambles, which kept it from accessing the fresh water it needed. Without hesitation, Isla used the tiny key she had received to unlock a small, enchanted pouch she had found earlier in the glade. From it, she pulled out a shimmering thread and wove it through the brambles, magically clearing a path to the water. The old fox, who was very pleased, gifted Isla a beautiful, intricate locket. "This locket will protect you and guide you on your journey," the fox said. With the locket in hand, Isla set off for the final task. The last challenge led her to a tranquil meadow where a magnificent stag with antlers like branches of a tree stood waiting. The stag was surrounded by a ring of darkness that had crept into the meadow. Isla approached the stag and used the locket to dispel the darkness, which shimmered and vanished with the light of the locket. The meadow was bathed in a warm, golden glow, and the stag, grateful, shared the final clue. "The treasure you seek lies within your heart," the stag said. "Return to the whispering willow, and the treasure will be revealed." With the final task completed, Isla hurried back to the riverbank. The whispering willow's branches seemed to glow with anticipation as she approached. The tree's voice spoke again, "You have completed the tasks with kindness and courage. The treasure is now yours to reveal." As Isla reached out to touch the base of the willow, the ground beneath it began to shimmer. Slowly, a hidden compartment emerged, revealing a beautiful chest. Isla opened it to find a radiant, glowing orb that pulsed with the soft light of the stars. The whispering willow's voice filled the air. "This orb holds the power to bring joy and healing to those in need. Use it wisely, and let it be a beacon of hope for all." Isla took the orb back to Willowbrook, where it quickly became a source of inspiration and healing for the villagers. The light from the orb brought prosperity and happiness, and the village thrived under its gentle glow. The tale of Isla and the Whispering Willow became a cherished story, passed down through generations. It reminded the villagers of the power of kindness, selflessness, and the magic that lies within their own hearts. And so, Willowbrook flourished with joy and harmony, forever touched by the magic of the Whispering Willow. And they all lived happily ever after.